back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today we are focused on Star Trek the Original Series, Season 3, Episode 1. Can you guys believe we've made it to Season 3? We're doing Spock's Brain. It's so crazy.
It's been a long road.
Getting from there to here, it's true. It has indeed. Ruben's got the exact... I was actually going to wear these like this.
I have the Spock wig, and I was like, oh, I can put the Spock wig on.
We already have a couple of folks in the audience. Welcome, Arthur. Nice to see you. And Spock's green jumpsuit returns. Yes, this is his post-coital jumpsuit that he's brought back for this
wash.
episode.
Oh yeah, I just hope it's been washed since. Yeah.
Dadmiral's here. What are you talking about? Dadmiral's right there. Spock's green jumpsuit. There you go.
Yeah, that came on just before we came live.
Rats. I like that. Rats. How are you guys doing? Thank you for joining me. We have our Dadmiral Ian from Trek Cat, and of course we have Lucky Red Shirt Ruben. Are you referring to Scotty?
I'll explain that. No, I'll explain it in a moment.
Okay. Thanks, gentlemen, for being here. Our usual other guests. We might have a surprise guest or two pop in midstream, but maybe not. But our young Robbie, who joins us every week, he's didn't get to watch this episode because he was watching Dune, and I fully endorse that because I think Dune is the bee's knees. So I'm glad that he went to go see that movie. But, he'll have to catch up and give us his review of Spock's Brain next weekend when we talk about the Enterprise.
The positive is there's no cats in this episode, so he's all right.
Oh yeah, and Sub-Commander Tall wants me to tell you, Ruben, that tonight's episode of TOS Saturday Night is Catspaw. So if you stay up, do you ever do the TOS Saturday Night thing on Twitter?
No, because Saturday nights is my D&D night.
Oh, your D&D night. All right. Well, I'll make sure to channel you when I'm there, so that way. Here he is. There's EGT in the chats. Apologies for not being with you guys. No apologies. No apologies needed. Brain, where is your brain, so hail? It's a miracle how it was disconnected and put into the thing. So I actually, I have to say I really like this episode a lot more than I thought I would. I had like a vague memory of the clicking and the robotic, the movements and stuff, but I actually like when I dove into it this time, I was like, man, there's like some cool things that are still relevant today, especially like in the neuroscience field. I'm an amateur. I don't know much about it, but like, there's some things that I feel like I've been reading about these things more recently. But would either of you gentlemen would like to do a brief episode summary for Spock's Brain?
Man, I can make it brief. I can make it brief.
Okay, can you make it slightly more than brief? Like just a brief and a half? Could you do?
Aliens, an alien woman shows up on the Enterprise, knocks everybody out. They wake up. Spock's brain is missing. That's the first 5 minutes of the episode.
Literally, yes. Yeah. Very good.
I guess there's a little bit more. I gotta give it a little more credit because I think like you, I kind of remembered hating this more. And even though I don't think it's a good episode at all, I don't hate it as much as I thought I remembered hating it. The clicking is still like, how I hate that episode of TNG with Suddenly Human with the kids that howl, the kid that howls. This is like number 2 on worst sound of a Star Trek episode. Not only the clicking, but the tricorder is like turned up to like 11. I'm like, you guys have no concept of stealth. Of like, you're on an alien planet, a hostile potential, and you're just walking around in bright ass colors with this loud ass tricorder. Like, did you not study military history at all?
Starfleet folks are just very trusting. But anyways, carry on.
Like, there's enough humans. If one dies here and there, who cares? So the Enterprise crew smartly figures out to track the ion trail of something because she just appeared. Oh no, she was in a ship, right?
No, remember
she was in a ship. I'm sorry.
There's a rematch. I don't know if you watched it in the original. I'm curious to see
I watched
what
the
it looked
old
like.
school
one.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the ship looked like in the original, but it was probably one of their generic ships. But it was a
terrible,
cool redesign on the remaster. But
I
yeah,
can
there was
imagine. Yeah, yeah. And I
we're
imagine
following.
that star chart thing looked cool in the remaster.
Mm-hmm.
That must have
Yeah.
looked really cool because on
Yeah.
the original it was just like like they printed at Kinko's or whatever the Kinko's equivalent was in the 60s. And there's like, you know. So yeah, they follow the ion trail of the ship to a system that has like 4 planets, and then none of the planets are technologically capable of having ships. They use a term, I wrote it down, which was interesting. I was hoping Valerie would, or maybe one of you guys knows. They use a term said technology level 3 or something like that.
Oh right.
I wrote it down.
I think they're referring to, if I'm not mistaken, they're referring to
technological rating of 3
of the society, right?
Yeah, of most of these planets. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like something, and it's been revised since then. But there's just like different levels. I think it's an Asimov concept, or it was either Asimov or Clark. But it's like technology rating is what they called it back then. But I guess now it's just called a civilization, type 1, type 2, type 3, or type 4 civilization. So just in brief, type 1 civilization has mastered the resources of its planet, type 2 of its solar system, type 3 of the galaxy itself. So at that time, I don't think it was the same levels. I think a type 3 technological civilization was referring to a different kind of, probably a type 1, what we call it.
Yeah, because when they said it, I think one they were saying it's like, one was like in the Industrial Revolution type time.
Yeah.
And then another one was around about the 2000s, I think they said was the other one.
Oh, gotcha.
We're at -1 and getting worse.
That's true.
I want to comment,
true.
Arthur Lamoureux. I'm saying
Lamoureux, I think. Lamoureux.
I agree.
Lamoureux.
The first 5 minutes, great, fine, good setup.
Well, if you notice, within the first couple of minutes, nobody talks. It is complete silence, and they build up the tension quite well.
You're like, holy shit! All this stuff is happening. This woman just super powerful, knocks everybody out with her little wrist, her iMorg from Steve Jobs. I forgot to mention,
like the original. The original ship design was pretty cool. I'm looking at it. Sorry, go on. Sorry,
it was okay. I mean, it was cool for the time. I just imagined the new version was probably like super cool.
I'll show you the new version.
Yeah. So the first 5 minutes, they knock everybody out. Come to, they find that, I forgot to mention, they find that Spock's brain's missing. That's pretty much where the episode really starts to go downhill, just like Arthur said. It's like, what? They follow the ion trail to the solar system. They have 4 planets to pick from. It's kind of, they're trying to, like, I guess, add some sort of tension of, if they pick the wrong planet, they'll waste too much time and Spock will die.
Right. He has 24 hours. Yeah. His extraordinary Vulcan physiology allows him to live without his brain for 24 hours with an assistive device. So
he has like a little backup brain somewhere.
Klingons do. Klingons have a second brain, if I'm not mistaken, like a little primitive brain or something that controls most of their like lower functions or something like that. Just
the new Klingons seem to have 2 of everything. So.
They do indeed. Indeed, last night's Starfleet Boy After Dark we referenced some of that. But anyways, good. So what happens on the planet? So we find out that the smart, crazy alien lady who had kidnapped Spock's brain and all these other there's like people that live on the surface and there's people that live below the surface, and it's segregated by men and women. Right, and then
basically the morgues and the iMorgs,
and everyone's dumb. No one's as smart as the lady including the lady who kidnapped Spock. They're just like kind of clueless. Like,
so basically, moron and I'm moron.
like Scotty's like, I don't see anyone who's intelligent enough to have designed this place like among these people. And then we find out that Spock's brain is controlling their whole freaking world, the whole planet. Like his brain is like it's basically like a cyber controller from the other Doctor Who. Like he's like he's responsible for the life support, blah blah blah, everything. And it's crazy that you need a real person's brain to do this, but it's also kind of cool, I thought. And then what happens?
Well, yeah, they get to the planet. They meet the Morgs, who are the big dudes, kind of dumb caveman type people. They find, I guess, a rock elevator that doesn't. That all just does this. Look, we're going down. We're going down. I swear. They get down there. They meet the women. They get captured. None of the woman doesn't remember ever being on the ship.
The women who bring you pain and delight.
They have these funky belts now, like slaver belts
and 60s go-go boots. This was like the height of like go-go boot. This is like definitely like a 60s go-go dancer look. Yeah, it's very Austin Powers.
A loud elevator, yes, that's true. They beat up the two Morgs that are keeping watch on them. They get all their stuff back, including the super loud tricorder. They're once again just walking straight through the middle of a hallway with a loud-ass tricorder that's probably resonating through that whole underground chamber, and everybody can hear them coming.
You're right, there should be a silent
tactics.
mode.
No tactics whatsoever. Fuck, so American. So very American. It's like, fuck it. That was my one. I said it. Damn it.
All right,
I used my one.
You got it done early. That's good. Anyways, so then they discover that
they find Spock's brain. Oh wait, before that they use the communicator to communicate with Spock's brain.
Yeah, they've been using it to communicate with him because Spock's tapped into everything. He's like
Barkley in that episode.
He's like Barkley in that episode. Yes, actually, and it's kind of reminiscent of that because remember the lasers were hitting Barkley's brain the way these like pipes were hitting the. Oh, I wonder if there's any like
a little wink and
a little wink or a nod. That's cool, Ruben. I love that stuff.
I actually thought of the episode because of the way that they set up. Because until the communicator scene, you haven't seen the machine that's controlling this whole thing, right? So
right.
So that's kind of a reveal that's coming, but they just reveal it with like a quick cut to it, a wow, this weird little mystery sound, and then back.
I love
and it's
those sounds.
I'm like, why'd you do that? And then I thought of the TNG episode where like. You see Barkley go into the holodeck. He tells the computer, I'm going to teach you how to do this neural thing. Cut away to a problem on the bridge. Then Barkley's in control. Then cut back to Barkley in this crazy maniacal chair. Just like, and it's like, whoa. This is just like, wow. Here it is for a split second. And here it is again, like 2 seconds later.
Someone should overdub the that sound on the Barkley reveal. Like that. Like, when it goes. By the way, that sound that she makes is iconic. Like I remember as a kid, we used to make that sound playing when we would play Star Trek. If we like tried to, we always had like things that would hurt you or whatever, and you had to say it real quick as a kid. You'd say, "I have a stun ray," and then you're like, like that's what it reminded me of. It. Yeah, those sounds are pretty iconic.
Do you think they raided the Looney Tunes vault for that one?
Yeah, they probably did. That's a really good point.
Straight out of Wile E. Coyote or something.
So what happens then? They find the device, Spock's brains in this thing. To put it back into his body, McCoy gets on this machine.
First we discover that the reason why everyone's dumb is because they can only be imbued with like supreme knowledge from the founders of this this planet for like a few hours, and so they wear this like cool salon hair dryer, which I feel like I've seen before, other than I feel like that prop has been in something else. And so they wear that, and then all of a sudden they can do pretty miraculous things like remove a brain from a person, and have the skill to do just about anything. And that's how they've been repairing the facility or doing anything that needs to be done. Otherwise, they live this blissful, I guess, existence where they don't have any intelligence of that kind. And so anyways, they realize what's going on, and Kirk, Scotty pretends to faint so that Kirk could like get his phaser back. That was like such a good. We have to talk a lot about that scene later, but anyways, then they discover, like you said, McCoy volunteers to wear the helmet of knowledge, the hairdryer of knowledge, so that he can learn how to surgically reinstall Spock's brain, but they have the clicking time bomb, which is like 4 hours or something like that, or whatever.
Right.
And like at the very end, at the most crucial moment, Bones starts forgetting the new knowledge, and it's hilarious. I love the banter, and just like I couldn't help but thinking like Bones was sweating on Spock's brain when he was like nervous, because like he's like sweating so profusely, and he's like
he's not
standing
wearing any
he's
medical
not wearing
gear
any
of any
medical
kind.
surgery. He's not wearing Dr. Pulaski's like red outfit when she does surgery. He's just sweating straight onto Spock. So a little bit of sweat is in Spock's brain. Let's just say that that's canon now. But
Bone sweat. That's why they're so bonded. Because then later he does the mind meld.
They're not blood brothers, they're sweat brothers.
So then he finally is able to restore Spock's voice, and Spock helps him finish the surgery because Spock, of course, can. That's extraordinary Spock stuff. And at the end, there's a little bit of a laugh with like Spock talking about how cool this segregated, blissfully dumb society is.
And they're like, I should have left his vocal cords off.
yeah, it's really funny. Sorry, I hijacked your summary, but I was too excited.
No, it's okay. This episode is hijack worthy because the summary is bizarre. It's all bizarre. I mean, if you're looking at it as an actual story, it's really bizarre. And my first thought was, wait a minute. So this thing gives you like supreme knowledge for short bursts of time or whatever.
Just like, enough time to do a task, yeah.
Well, I would be like, okay, all engineering, come down. Everybody, one by one, get on this thing. Now take notes as fast as you can. Write everything down that you can think of, and they'll have like warp 50 by the end of the day.
Or that ion.
You know what's going to happen? They'll write it all down, and then they'll go,
what does this mean? Yeah.
We have a bunch of comments in the chat. Let's see. Jill says, Spock's green jumpsuit says, how come it's... Oh, okay. I agree. It's not nearly as bad as everyone claims. That's true. I would like to have Spock's brain running my house rather than Alexa. Yes. Yes, please. Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely.
This is actually kind of genius. That's actually like a really cool analogy too, by the way.
That would be great if you could get Leonard Nimoy's voice as your Alexa.
We're not really far. We're really not far from that becoming reality. Adobe has software where you can actually, using recording references, you can actually recreate someone's voice, and so you could just type whatever you want them to say, and it pretty good. It won't be like perfect, but it's pretty good. So
not yet.
I like it.
Not perfect yet.
Jace is here, and Jace says TCC can't wait for your premiere video tonight. We have the trailer. And audience, you cannot let me leave the show or sign off without playing the trailer. So we have the exclusive trailer here. Again. Wait, I only did it once. I only did that to you once.
Just once. Well, I'll never let you forget it.
Yes,
the second time would be again.
It's true. The second time's tonight.
And maybe halfway through just to make sure.
Spock's green jumpsuit says, yes, I noticed that the sound effects are deafening in this one, including bridge noises. I wonder if there was just something with the mixing. Oh, you know what's something weird? Did this I don't know if you guys watched the opening sequence, but it was Leonard Nimoy narrating, and like very low on Paramount Plus. Like, I don't know if you saw that, Ruben, or...
Well, we don't have Paramount Plus yet.
But it shouldn't be. I believe Shatner narrated the opening throughout the whole thing. So I don't know. I was a little confused about that. And if anyone in the audience knows what that's about, or maybe I'm crazy, I don't know.
You know why? Because I skipped the intro. I just skimmed through it because
yeah, I never skip it. I love the TOS intro. I mean, it's like,
I love all the intros,
yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like, okay.
But maybe the mix was off on it. That could be depending on how we were all watching it. But there's a continuation to this comment, which is, but that may just be on some services. I haven't tried Hulu yet. Their sound seems to be better. Oh, okay. Same thing we were just.
I found that the special effects were particularly loud for this one.
Okay. I mean, I'm watching DVD bootlegs that I downloaded like 12 years ago. So. And the sound was weird. That tricorder particularly was super. The ticking I remember, But the
Maybe the
tricorder, I was like, "Whoa, what is going on here?" This tricorder,
like somebody's whistling very loud in his ear.
I'm like, everybody on this planet knows you're coming right now.
Look who's decloaking for us. It's Sub Commander Tall. Woo!
Hey. How are you guys doing?
Really good. Did you win? Did you get?
You won?
Oh yes. No, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yay!
So, Star Trek Adam is a nice, gentle guy, but Tennis Adam is an asshole. And that was good. So yeah, amazingly, I'm into the quarterfinals now, so I'm pleased about that.
Congratulations!
What, I'm sorry, a tennis tournament?
Tennis, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very amateur. We're not actually good or anything. But it's fun.
That's fine. That's the story of my life, really.
Nice to see that you look like you've actually played a game of tennis. After that picture you put on Twitter where we said, "Oh, I've done 2 hours," we're going, "Yeah, you don't look like you've even been."
No, that was definitely before. Definitely, this is more the after pictures. So, yeah.
That's cool. Well, it must feel great to play a great game like that. I mean, I used to play tennis. I got to get back into tennis. You're inspiring me, Sub Commander. It's so cool.
I mean, you're in Miami. Come on,
it's like ideal. The Williams sisters live here. I gotta play tennis. It's true.
Right.
It's true.
Right.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. So did you already discuss the whole thing, or you want?
No. We just got started.
Yeah, we're just coming to the end, Adam. That's
I mean, it's such a rich and dense episode that it's a lot to discuss. You know what I'm saying?
Ruben and I did the episode summary, and then we were talking about the how loud the effects. We were talking about like if there was something off with the sound in this one because the effects were really loud for a lot of folks.
Were you watching it on Paramount Plus? Because I've been hearing that about the original series on Paramount Plus. Well,
I think we were watching on different things.
Well, I watch it on Netflix or I watch it on the Blu-rays. Normally, I watch Netflix and then I stick my Blu-ray on to watch the original special effects. But I didn't know we were going to be on, so I only managed to watch it once this evening. So
okay,
yeah.
Yeah,
I watched it on Paramount Plus, and I noticed something weird. The narration over the opening title sequence is Leonard Nimoy instead of William Shatner, and I'm not sure why. And it's like whispering, like it's very soft. It's like strange. So I gotta figure out what's going on with that. But I have to admit, normally I listen to it in my headset, and today I was listening to it through this mono room speaker. It's the Apple. The HomePod, and so maybe it doesn't interpolate the audio correctly or something like that. So
what he didn't realize is he got the end of Wrath of Khan.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what it sounded like. It sounded exactly like that. It's so weird.
That's weird. I don't know.
But what'd you think of this episode, Tall?
Well, you know, it's a classic. It's a classic for all the wrong reasons. You know, I enjoy watching it. I mean, but it's one of those so bad it's good kind of things. It's not the worst episode. It's often called the worst episode. I don't think it's the worst episode.
Man,
and
I found some quotes here from Leonard Nimoy that said, frankly, during the entire shooting of that episode, I was embarrassed. A feeling they overcame me many times during that final season of Star Trek. And it's funny because I wrote in my notes when I was watching it that I was like, I think Leonard Nimoy was slowly dying inside during every scene where he's just like, I can't believe this is where my life has come to as an actor.
Not a great episode for him.
But he did I thought he did such a great job at like a non-vocal acting. I don't know, like it was just like I thought he was like doing good things with his eyes and stuff like that. Like I don't.
Yeah, I mean it's you know like the first maybe 15 minutes of it are not terrible. I like the little scene on the bridge where Kirk is having the discussion with Uhura and Chekhov and Sulu. That's kind of a different, you know, about which planet to go to. It's not super not very complicated, but it's nice to see them sort of have a moment together without Spock there. But then once they get on and you know, maybe the concept of a male-female split society, one on the surface, one below, that could have been interesting. But you know, I think the episode, what we have to keep in mind is, as hokey as the brain part seems, it was around the time like the first heart transplant had been done. So this was kind of like in the news or in the air.
It
so
has that vibe. That's very cool. You know, brain transplants are going to happen one day, and it's something we still can't do. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, that's a great point.
I mean, I think that was sort of like in the air a little bit, so that maybe gave Gene Kuhn the inspiration, although he uses his pen name in this one, Lee Cronin. But yeah, no, there's a lot of bad elements. I mean, and it ends, that surgery at the end is so hokey and terrible. But
I'm the outlier. I loved it. I thought it was all. I was like really.
It's entertaining, but
it is entertaining. Yeah,
after you see like City on the Edge of Forever or Doomsday Machine, and then all the people who were writing the letters to save Star Trek for a third season must have thought, what were we saving this show for?
That was I thought that same thing.
Where it does.
All these guys wrote letters to save this show, and the first thing they come out of the gate with is Spock's brain. I saw what's coming. The next episode is fantastic.
When you watch the, as I said, when Adam says, when you watch the first 10-15 minutes, you think this could be a really good episode. I mean, the very start, nobody's talking, but the suspense is palpable. You've got it there, and it goes through, and then it
got an alien ship. That's cool.
Yeah, the alien ship. You've got all that, and it's building up to potentially be a good episode, and then they take Spock's brain, and then it takes a. I mean, it's
the chat. The chat echoes.
To my mind is the concept is fantastical. Because
to
take a brain out and to use it, and then to transplant it and everything else, it's.
I mean, it seems just easier to kidnap the whole person, right? Fuck it.
Well, yeah. Why take the brain in there?
Control yourself. Ruben, I'm going to put the helmet of knowledge on you. I'm going to put the helmet of knowledge.
My brain's been taken.
But you're writing, and the chat's hilarious today. Jay says, I can't fault this episode. It's even better when you've had a drink. And then Arthur says, maybe a full bottle first. EGT says, Leonard Nimoy has a very rough character voice. And then now I'm catching up to you, Sub Commander Tall. I won. Send me a link. Yay, we did. That's cool. See, I did it beforehand.
Yeah, it was there. Right.
Let's see what else is here in the chat. Alternate factor is total garbage. It's the worst. Alternative factor is worse than this one. That is true. Yeah. But critically speaking, you're right. I didn't end up caring too much about the society, or like it was interesting like on the surface, but I didn't care to dive deeper because it wasn't presented in an appealing way. It was just kind of like okay, we have this like really cool sci-fi concept, but we didn't really back it up with like a really good execution in terms of like the world and like the inhabitants of, what was the planet called? It was like Delta Atari. Delta Atari. Look at me.
Sigma Alpha or whatever, isn't it?
SETI. This is SETI Alpha 19.
And like Chekhov and the red shirts just like hung out in that cave the whole time, just like keep it warm. Like, what were they sharing? At least
that's one thing New Trek has got right. If it's going to be cold, they wear warm clothing. You're not just going to go down in your shirt and sweater. At least they've got warm coats and everything. That's the one that got me, is they know it's cold, but they've got down in their standard uniform.
I like how Chekhov was trying to be sort of like not macho, but like he says the temperature's not that cold, and Kirk says you have a thick skin. And as soon as Kirk goes down the elevator, he heats up some rocks because he doesn't want to deal with the cold. So, but it makes you wonder why they didn't use those heat uniforms. This is the one where they turn on their heat uniforms, right? Or is that it? Oh God.
No, that's the Sulu. That's the one you're thinking of. The one with Sulu.
No, I'm thinking of I thought high maximum of 40 livable. That's not this episode where they're. No, okay.
No, I don't think
there's some episode where they reference like the heat in their, like they've got thermal.
Oh yeah. What is that? I know what you're talking. Hold on.
I swear I thought it was this.
But we all missed it. That's how boring. That's how boring those parts are. Like everyone's just like,
someone in the comments. Someone in the comments tell us.
Someone in the comments tell us if this is the episode with the heat uniforms.
Very easy to lose focus.
I mean, I saw Chekhov warming up the rock. I remember he was warming up the rock, and I don't remember actually. I just watched this episode. I don't remember what Chekhov had anything to do with except like hanging out
Well, at one point they say he's the liaison between the ship and the captain, but I'm like, the captain's been gone for like hours, and Chekhov hasn't said a word.
Oh yeah, they do say.
Again,
Kirk says
protocols, people. I wasn't even in the military. I understand this stuff. Just from two older brothers in the military, I understand this stuff. A little research, guys.
I'm looking it up, but while I do that, Spock's green jumpsuit in the audience, Jill wrote a letter, yay me. But what was, if you don't mind telling us, what was like your response to this episode when it aired? Were you like happy with like this being the return of Star Trek?
Yeah.
Or were you like, oh, I don't know if it was worth writing that letter? No, I'm just kidding. That's I would have been happy with it, I think. What a cool thing though, like for a show to be saved and brought back. I feel like this helmet, you know, the helmet that gives you the knowledge that, you know, Bones and what's her name are wearing. I've seen it
hairdryer.
Yeah, I've seen it somewhere before, and I can't, somewhere else, and I can't put my finger on it. I'm trying to run a Google image search just to see.
Well, they do tend to reuse stuff, don't they? I mean, you know, because they reuse things in different ways.
To me, it's iconic. It's like an iconic design. I love it. It's got like a bunch of cool like who's its and what's its, and like it's floating, and like it just, I mean, it is a hairdryer, like at the end of the day, like, you know, like a salon hairdryer, but it's cool. It's cool looking.
It looks a little bit like the Get Smart cone of silence.
Is that what it looks like?
A little bit, because I think theirs is attached, so it's kind of like two hair dryers attached.
And Let me see. I've got an image of it.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
they can talk without being spied on or whatever.
This thing here, I love it. Sub Commander, do you know anything about
that look as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look and just say, "What am I doing?"
DeForest Kelly's, he's like, I think my life is over. I think this is it for me. I'm gonna go work at a supermarket.
I kind of like that moment. It is sort of with that music swelling. I mean, it's so dumb, but it's, you know, when he puts that on, that expression. I remember sending something. That's how he looks when he finds his phone. Remember where he's left his phone after forgetting where it was. But yeah.
Did I leave the stove on? I think I left the stove on.
Did I lock the back door?
I kind of want this prop. I kind of love it.
I feel like there should be a meme, like that face you make when the insert.
Yeah, I want to see someone cosplay that. I don't think I've seen that.
It's called the Great. It's called the Great Teacher.
Of all ancient knowledge. Yeah.
That's true. I'm gonna totally cosplay as the Great. I'm gonna try to put this cosplay together for Star Trek Chicago. I think I'm gonna.
Strange New Worlds brings this back. The Great Teacher. I will watch all new Star Trek from start to finish.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
If you're going to do it, Starfleet boy, you've got to do it with the Austin Powers outfit. You've got to do it.
I've got Sub Commander Tall. One thing we were talking about during the summary was how Dr. McCoy was sweating all over Spock's brain during the surgery.
Yeah.
You've got to give it to D. Kelly. He knew how to pull a face, didn't he?
He did. He had great faces. Look at this.
I want that on my wall.
Not just that, the lighting is pretty super. I mean, some people criticize like all the colors and stuff, but as a person who, my photography side is always so like amazed at the lighting in this show in TOS. It's like so well planned and beautifully executed. Like everything's so well exposed, and like you know, to be able to do these colors and like mix and match and like have it exposed well. And I know remastering it's helped it perhaps, but I remember it was always very vivid and like high quality even before the film.
I wanted to ask you guys that watched the remastered ones, how did they keep the like green stun phaser stun effect?
Yes.
They did. Yeah, they did. They kept it.
Also, when she when she appears, she's also green. Like she appears this.
No. When Kirk shoots
with the phaser, it's a green. It's just it lights up the whole screen and it's green.
Yeah, it's just like everything's green.
Oh yeah.
It's like they put a green layer for a second and take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, my headcanon's going to be with that picture of McCoy, that blue light is a sterilization field.
Right.
Sure. I buy that.
So then that sweat is not going into.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
But it's
sterilized. But it's sterile. It's sterile sweat.
A little saline drip. Yeah.
It's actually helping. It's actually helping to nourish the brain while he works on it. It may have been what made the difference that allowed it to.
It stops the brain from drying out.
That's
what it is.
I'm gonna say it also explains Spock's emotionality a little bit more later on in life because he's part McCoy.
He's part McCoy after this. That's true.
His spoken physiology, his
McCoy's,
spoken. I said Spock and spoken at the same time.
McCoy's sweaty Katra went into Spock. So the thing, what I didn't like about that scene, it wasn't that Spock's, not a hair on his head is must, but it's that, McCoy is way too high up relative to where Nimoy's head is to be reaching inside his skull. I mean, just how they have that scene set up. It looks like, a Spock's head is at McCoy's sort of a knee level practically. So I don't know what it just, you know what I'm talking about? I mean, it looked like.
I do. I have a like a headcanon sci-fi reason behind it. Obviously they couldn't show this to us for like budgetary reasons, but if I were to reimagine this, I would think that because it's a huge chamber, it's like way like huge, and I think obviously they did it because they needed a cool prop or whatever. So I imagine there's like anti-grav fields that are holding his brain just hovering slightly out of his head, so that when McCoy can work around the full brain while it's not inside of Spock, and he can reconnect all the neuro endings, and then that field reinserts the brain, seals the head, and does all that work. Like McCoy doesn't have to do any of that, and then voila, you have like a freshly minted
McCoy
Spock.
just has to connect the finger.
I still think with Adam it was so high because you expect him to go.
No, but I agree. I'm just saying. No, I agree with Adam too. I'm just saying that's my sci-fi headcanon explanation to why it's odd.
I think McCoy has a prehensile penis.
Okay.
He was using it to help him.
That's not. This is not. No, this is after. This is PG-13. There's no such thing.
Scientifically accurate word. I did not use any vulgar terminology.
You did. That's fine. I'll let it go. You're on the edge, mister.
I am. Season 3 started off with a bang.
Spock's green jumpsuit says, you guys have no idea how great Star Trek was compared to all the other shows that were on TV at the time. We didn't judge it as harshly then. That's a really good point. Good point. And it's probably very true. Yeah,
I say it all the time. Star Trek was light years ahead of everything else at the time. It looks cheesy now, but compared to Lost in Space or like...
Yeah.
Well, even Doctor Who. I mean, you look at Doctor Who back then as well.
Doctor Who was like made for like $1 back in the 60s. Like, it was... Yeah. It looked awful.
Jace has
there was some great acting on.
No, yeah, the stories and was what kept Doctor Who,
going. Jace has a question for the UK guys. Robbie, Trek Cat. Did you get to see Prodigy? It has taken me a while to find it. Have you guys seen Prodigy?
I have.
Oh, great. And I think Robbie has too.
I am not going to say how I got to see it, but I got to see it.
That's okay. You got a subspace package. A package came through subspace. It was like just appeared. It's fine.
I am very grateful to some people out there. That's all I'm going to say.
Sub-Commander Tall, are you going to give Prodigy a look?
I only watch grown-up shows like Spock's Brain. I don't have Paramount Plus, and
and you haven't even seen Voyager.
To be in a position to see it, I'll give it a look.
Yeah, and you haven't watched Voyager, right?
Like, no, I haven't. Yeah, it's all.
Oh, so yeah, we'll just give you the highlights.
I didn't hear that last bit.
I'll just say we'll give you highlights as the show goes on. We'll let you know. I'm sure you'll find out what happens through the internet.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's some adorable blobby looking little guy, Murph. That's been on everybody's profile
everyone's
pictures.
into Murph.
Yeah.
Arthur says maybe if there would have been a series 4, Stanley Adams could have come back as a carrot. Spock's green jumpsuit says, I remember panicking when McCoy started to forget how to reconnect the brain. Oh yeah, that. I remember that anxiety.
I mean, he sells that. He definitely sells that. I don't remember. Yeah. I can't remember. Yeah.
He also sells being like under the influence of this superior intelligence or knowledge and going super fast. Like I thought he did that really well too, where he's just like, I don't know what he kept grabbing and throwing into the gigantic
oregano and a little parsley.
But he was doing it very adeptly. Like it was very nicely.
And Scotty say he's moving at warp speed.
Yeah, it's true. That was actually something that going back to those like little connections that reminded me of a little bit of in TNG in Offspring, when the Admiral remarks at how fast Data's hands were moving when he was trying to save Lal, which was a kind of similar vibe where he's doing brain surgery, I guess, on someone who loves
it. When Data's putting the isolinear chips back.
Oh yeah, that's that kind of vibe to it too. A little bit of that. A quick
better episode though.
A quick unsolicited plug to Brent Spiner's new book, which is called Fan Fiction. It's a memoir based on true events, so it's definitely a fiction about something that really happened. So and it takes place during the filming when Brent Spiner was filming season 3 and 4 or season 4 of Star. What season did Gene die?
Well, 91, so that was season
4,
3, right? 87, 88.
Oh, maybe 3.
3-ish, yeah.
Oh, no. Well, no, maybe it was 4. 87, 88, 88, 89, 89, 90, 90, 91. It was season 4.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for doing the math. So season 4, it takes place during the filming of that, and the book is awesome, but I highly recommend everyone download the audiobook because it's actually done in the style of an audio drama, not like an audio drama, like a radio drama as they're called. It's 7 hours of fun, and everyone in the TNG cast reads their own parts. So when Brent narrates it, and when he says, and Patrick Stewart says the lines, and Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes, they're all in it, and
that's cool.
Yeah, it's super super cool. So if you love TNG, it's just delightful to kind of in a weird way, even though it's fiction, he really immerses you into what was going on and possibly going on in his life at the time. It's very reminiscent of the 80s and 90s, and that there's a lot of atmospherics, like going to a video store, for example, and things like that. It's just it's a really cool thing, and as everyone I'm sure knows, Brent Spiner has a bit of a dark sense of humor, and it is funny as heck, but it's dark. It's really good, but not too much. It's delightfully dark is what I'll say. So that's it. I've ended my unsolicited plug for
I just heard from Brent Spiner, your check's coming in the mail.
Oh yeah. Actually, his check is already in the mail. So I bought the book, a signed copy of the book. I bought a signed copy of the book, the audio drama, and the event where he and Gates McFadden talked to fans about it, which was very cool. So yeah, I'm all in. I am a shill. I'm sorry, but the opposite of a shill. Whatever, a person who gives Star Trek their free money. Oh, a fan. There you go. There is a word for it. I forgot about that. Let's see here. Oh, Earl Grey Trekkie did see it, but through less than ideal means, and he enjoyed it a lot. That was Star Trek Prodigy. Oh, a lot of good stuff for Prodigy. Anyways, anything else about Spock's brain that we can talk about before we give it our final thoughts and ratings that we didn't cover? I wanted to talk about the go-go outfits. They were
Well, that's the outfit. I think if you're going to cosplay it, that's what you've got to wear. With that dome, you've got to do it. You've got to get the long hair and everything else. That's the way you've got to go.
I'm gonna look into it. I'll try to find some purple, bright purple go-go boots for sure.
Thigh-high boots. You say about being there. I did quite like the analogy when Spock was saying he's breathing air, his blood is circulating, and the analogy of he's actually doing the air in the bay in the whole area. His blood is the heating and everything else. I did quite.
Oh, he had an infinite body. That was a cool concept too. Like the idea of being discorporeal or whatever, or non-corporeal, I guess. Yeah,
non-corporeal.
Disincorporated is what I was trying to say.
Yeah. But no, there are some good elements in there. As much as we say, and Leonard Nimoy was losing the will to live, and William Shatner hated it. He said it's one of the worst and all that type of thing. But there are some redeeming qualities to it. As I said, the first 10-15 minutes is classic Star Trek, and I thought it was really good. It just goes downhill quite quickly after that. But there are elements I do like.
Trekkie Dan says, "I'm
Dave
feeling
with the hot take."
Trekkie Dave, that's right. He says, "I'm feeling the vomit rise in my throat. This is by far the dumbest episode of TOS. It's truly hilarious, and this from a man that worships TOS at my core. That's amazing. Like, I don't know. I'm not like, it's not like my favorite episode, but it's not an episode that for me that like evokes vomitous reaction.
It's hard to reach the quality levels of Cat's Paw.
By the way, this is the season, Cat's Paw season. It's this weekend. Right. We are here. What are you all doing for Halloween? Anyone doing anything fun this All Hallows Eve?
I'm going to sit in the house with the dark, watching TV and ignoring the front door.
You're in a new place, so you'll find out how many trick-or-treaters there will be.
Yeah, I said, I haven't got a clue. So whereas before I wasn't anywhere, but it's on a Sunday this year, which is going to be different as well. Yeah.
Can't you go to a pub and just ignore the? Oh, it's a Sunday, so you can't because the next day's a work day. So.
Well, yeah,
you can still go.
You could still go,
no,
just not.
Well, no. With my work, there's a zero tolerance drug and alcohol.
Oh, okay. So then,
if I had alcohol in my bloodstream, I wouldn't go to work. So, yeah.
Well, if they can't tolerate alcohol, they shouldn't drink it. I got 100% tolerance.
Wow,
maybe 95.
Tall, do you all do the Halloween thing in your house? In your Romulan household?
I wonder if Romulans do have a holiday like Halloween.
I grew out of it early, but as a preschool teacher for many years, I had to embrace it because it's the holiday for young kids. I mean, more than anything else. And my daughter, who's 15 now, she still plans on dressing up. So, I mean, I'll stay at home and I'll put some. I have two costumes. I can wear my Star Trek costume, or I can wear my Renaissance Festival costume, and I'll give out candy. But I work tomorrow, so it'll be after work. So,
all right.
Yeah, but tonight I'm going to stay up for Ruben's favorite episode for TOS Saturday night. We're doing a Cat's Paw. So
at what time is it?
Midnight.
It's midnight our time. So what happens is you go on Twitter, you just press play at midnight on the episode, and you just watch and you follow the hashtag, and you'll see people live tweeting about the episode. And it tends to be on the funny side, but there's a lot of also like good observations and like cool facts and stuff that you find out throughout the thing. But
you can really do a deep dive on that cat and that.
You find out the lineage of the cat and the kittens it had and the kittens it had.
Yeah.
And what movies those kittens have been in.
I might have time to Photoshop something special for Cat's Paw with Ruben involved. So we'll see if we can do that.
Well, tonight I have my D&D's canceled tonight because I have a game night thing, Halloween game night with some friends, but I should be home by midnight. So I could actually maybe.
Oh, excellent! Cool. Well, I'll at you when I get started because it's super easy. So if you're there, it's super easy. And I think sometimes I think we're allowed to do like a welcome Ruben to TOS because it'll be your first one, so maybe people will even celebrate you a little bit. Maybe. No guarantees.
Unfortunately, I will be fast asleep.
It's actually you're actually if you're an early bird, you'll be waking up just as it ends, which is unfortunate, but it is amazing because it takes place. It's hosted on the West Coast, and so the host always says how surprised they are that people on the East Coast actually stay up for these till midnight. It's not easy to do. I can't stay up for every one of them, but whenever I do stay up, it's fun. It's always fun. So check it out, especially if you like TOS.
Well, it's actually funny because my Dungeons and Dragons sessions end at midnight. Usually, I try to end them at midnight. Sometimes they run a little longer, but I could actually listen more often. And then I usually stay up after playing video games, so I can actually listen more.
Well, it's every Saturday. So.
We'll see you tonight. Cool. We'll see you tonight. Very, very cool. I'll go first with my closing thoughts on this episode. I remembered Spock's brain being like a kind of... The only thing I remembered about it was like Spock didn't have a brain. He was like robotically enhanced somehow, or like, and was clicking a lot and like things like just like the very basics of it. So watching it again, I was expecting to like learn like what the episode actually was about. And I will admit that it wasn't like, the whole story of the people with the with the great teacher and all that stuff. While those concepts are really cool, it didn't like interest me that much. But where it does, I guess, like win is that sometimes these like really bad executions end up being really funny, and as you said earlier, they end up being entertaining. So it's a weird episode where it's like not the greatest episode. It's not like an episode I would put on the top 10 list, but it's an episode that I'll enjoy watching just because it's so bad and it's so absurd in so many ways. And then at the same time, I'm conflicted because I didn't talk too much about it, but I was like, wow, like in neurosurgery today, it's like some of these concepts, like when when Spock's guiding him to reconnect his brain and he's like, all right, confirm that this finger's moving. That's actually like, that was really interesting to me because in neuroscience, that's how they've been discovering like what every part of the brain does. It's all really very trial and error, like probing and like stimulating a part of the brain and seeing what moves. People were doing it with cadavers like way back in the day, like with electrodes, and today we're fortunately a lot more advanced in the field of neuroscience, and you can do it with like like MRIs and like probes connected to the brain and everything like that. But I have no doubt that at some point in the future, perhaps a little after our lifetimes, there will be a successful brain transplant, and that's going to be a crazy thing because you could just grow your own clone, and when you're starting to fail, you just pop your brain into your clone, and you can have a little bit more you can start anew. It'll be a very interesting time. So I love stuff like that. I love when Star Trek introduces concepts like that, because that can lead, and I was curious to see if any neuroscientists were actually inspired or have seen this episode and what they think. So I put it out on Twitter and tagged Dr. Aaron McDonald, and we'll see what happens. But that was like the winning factor for me and I guess that's the pearl in the oyster of this episode. So I'm actually going to give it a 7.5, and I bumped up from a 7 to a 7.5 because I just realized, since it is Halloween weekend, there's a little bit of that. We didn't talk about this either, but there's a little bit of that Frankenstein's monster, but done through a sci-fi twist with Spock, being like controlled by this thing. He had like, I don't know, it had like the golem type of vibe, of a resurrected thing. And ironically, Leonard Nimoy reads the story of the golem in his Hanukkah stories for kids, and we're not Jewish, but we listen to it every year at Hanukkah, so it's pretty cool. So anyways, 7.5 for me. Gentlemen, what are your closing thoughts and your ratings for this episode? We'll let you go, Tal. It looks like you're trying to get out of your car and clean up.
Sorry. I'm actually waiting at the Maryland School of Dance for my daughter to get out of ballet, so I can
right on
with her friend. Well, I appreciate how you always find the silver lining in Starfleet boy. Of course I'm going to watch this episode if I stumble across it, but I guess I'll give it a 4.7 out of 4.75 out of 10. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I don't know, but it's I enjoy parts of it, but by the end of it, I think I don't know, that surgery scene is just really, really ridiculous. So, but I guess I'll say it's one of the last times we'll see a fair amount of humor in season 3, because Gene Kuhn, who brought that to Star Trek, he was ghostwriting as he worked on another series at the time, but he only did that for the first few episodes, and then he was gone, and Star Trek got a lot more kind of stodgy and serious for the rest of season 3. So I suppose we should enjoy that final scene where McCoy says, "I should never have reconnected his mouth," and Kirk is like playing with the remote control. But still, I see that. I think of are these the same guys from City on the Edge of Forever? But yeah, anyway, I still like it, but I don't think it's good, but I still like it.
Ruben or we'll let Ruben go next because Admiral's got his trailer that we'll play. So yeah, go ahead, Ruben, and you're on mute.
Yeah, no, it was a good call. Bringing it back to the trailer. First of all, I'm wearing a red shirt, and I'm lucky red shirt tonight in honor of all the red shirts who got to die before having to be in this episode. I wrote here under my notes at the end, "Oh, merciful runtime, you have come to an end." It's not as bad as I remember it. The clicking is awful. The tricorder sound effect was just off the chain. I don't know what happened there. Somebody fell asleep at a knob. It's not the best Star Trek episode. I don't really know. I don't want to say it's the worst because I'm looking ahead at season 3 here, because just to refresh my memory, and there's some doozies coming.
The next one is good. The next one is good.
No, the next one is the next one should have been the first episode of the season. If you're coming back from the edge of oblivion cancellation, hit them hard. But whatever, They chose this one, or something happened.
It was the Wild West. There wasn't a formula back then. No one knew what.
Well, you know what's interesting? My bootleg downloads that I got 10 or 12, 15 years ago, I just realized today they're in production order, because this episode was listed as number 6 for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, why isn't this the first one of the season? And now I'm looking at Wikipedia and the production codes, and it's the 6th episode produced.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how that happened. However, whoever the hell chose this. Anyway, final thoughts. I give it many more clicks because I love TOS. And I will end up watching this episode a few more times in my lifetime, I'm sure. So click on, Spock.
How many clicks did you give it?
Many more clicks.
Many more clicks.
I just said many more clicks.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that
click on.
means.
Click on.
Click on, Spock. Click on.
That's funny.
Whoa.
I like ratings like that. I like ratings like that. They're open to interpretation. It's very cool. All right, take it away, Ian, and introduce your trailer too.
I will do in a minute. Yeah. Yeah, there's some, as I said, there's some redeeming qualities on there. I would have loved to have seen some outtakes of this where they get Leonard Nimoy to walk straight into a wall, because they push the button and go straight into a wall. Oh, sorry, missed that bit. But
I bet they were having laughs with the remote control Spock thing. I hope so too. Yeah, I bet they were like.
Shatner would go up to Nimoy and whisper in his ear, "You feel your career coming to an end, Nimoy? You feel the cold hand of irrelevancy."
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, I just say that to be funny.
I know it's funny, but it is painful as well.
Yeah. The clicking, as I said, the clicking, the mechanical bit. I look at that and I think, when did his body turn into like an android or something? Because it's just that clicking bit, and you think, really? So I just think there.
Yeah, I can wear my headphones like that.
I mean, it's not the best episode. It's not the worst. Alternative Factor being far worse than this one. But yeah, I'm going to give it. I'll give it a 5.5.
Nice.
But it's. I'm there with Ruben. I'll probably watch it again. I'll watch it again. I watched it today, and there'll be some time in the future when I'm flicking and I get to the horror channel here in the UK and it's on, and I'll think, okay, I'll watch it. And
it's like
things like that.
It's like 100% one of those episodes that I don't think I would ever remember to watch, but if it was on, 100% I'm not gonna go away. But
Christ, yeah. I mean, there's there. So, yeah, for me, it's 5.5. As I said, not the best, but definitely not the worst either.
All right, that was excellent. And so now, what are we gonna show our audience?
Yeah, well, I've got a new video coming out on my channel tonight. So it'll be, I think it's going to be hopefully premiering in about an hour's time. And here's the trailer for my latest program on my channel.
That's awesome. That music's very Klingon too. It kind of matches the play. Very cool.
And what I will say for Adam, next week is the Romulan Bird of Prey.
All right, right on. Well, I can't wait for that one. Yeah, and I'm very curious about those two sides. Are they going to be equal length, or is one longer than the other? So.
Well, some of them are not, and they're not quite. There's differing scales, shall we say? But this I thought, well, I've done the Klingon one. Now it's time to do the original. Bird of Prey, the Romulan one.
Yeah, okay.
And it is based on the TOS Romulan Bird of Prey. So that will be next week. And then obviously the week after that, I'm going to have a little bit of a break because the week after is DST here in the UK.
Oh, we expect a full report.
I will. I will. Well, you never know. If you do a video, I might even try and get on and do it from maybe a bar.
That would be really epic. That would be very cool. That would be very. If they have like a 10 forward setup or something like that. Maybe, and there'll be a whole bunch of them, and then it'll be Larry and loud, and
that's
so cool.
Everything else, because there'll be the drinks will be flowing, and it will be like Starfleet Boy After Dark, but a bit earlier.
Speaking of which, last night it was Boat Wreck After Dark, and it was pretty lit. If you guys want to go back and watch that conversation, and I do my Sir Patrick Stewart yelling at everyone impersonation. So that's the highlight of last night. But yeah, that would be awesome.
I'd just like to thank Jace there for saying a great trailer. So
yay.
Thank you, Jace.
The audience also chimed in, and everyone kind of is hovering around 4 and 4.5 and 5. So it looks like you guys rated this episode in tandem, in sync with everyone else. So very cool. I'm the outlier over here with my 7.5. I'm sticking to it. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
To be fair, though, 7.5 from you is kind of like a 4 from everyone else. So it makes sense. It makes sense to me. I don't know about everybody else.
Multiply my enthusiasm by a factor of 4.
I'm figuring out a precise chart.
How else can I keep my reputation as a miracle?
It's like levels of 10. Like, was it 10, but his voice went up in a pitch? Then that's a higher 10 than if it's just 10.
A few more things. Everyone check out Ruben at ruben-writes.com. Ruben, do you have any articles or anything you want to pitch before we go?
Yeah, I posted.
Before you do, my kid's in the car, so I'm leaving.
Bye-bye.
Oh, okay.
Bye, Sub Commander.
Live long and prosper.
Thanks for decloaking for us. Aw. Go ahead. Let us know what you're doing.
Yeah, I posted an article this week for an interview with Toy Galaxy. Well, I posted that one last week, but I forgot to actually post that I posted it. So, and then I also posted an interview with Holly Trotta, who's a production designer that worked on a movie called Witch Hunt, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like a modern day witch western thing. Pretty interesting movie. And then I also interviewed Tim Davies, who's an orchestrator and composer who's worked on Marvel stuff, and he worked on Maya and the 3 on Netflix. It's a new animated series, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's all. popaxiom.com. So just follow me on our Martian on Twitter.
On Twitter, excellent. And where to see Dadmiral in an hour. Go check out the premiere of his video. For Starfleet Boy, we are doing discussions for Star Trek Prodigy, which just premiered. So go check that out. We did one on Thursday. They're more like reactions. And then please check out our partner channel, Text Trek. I've just made that up. I don't know what that means, partner channel, but my friend Text Track, who also does a awesome Star Trek, our partner channel. It's very formal. That's so not Starfleet Boy. We're casual and informal here.
You gotta come up with a name for the family of channels, like Starfleet headquarters or something.
Starfleet. I don't want to run a network. There's no desire in mind.
The Starfleet boys with the
Starfleet boys and girls. We want girls and anyone else who doesn't even identify as a female or a male. So the Starfleet peoples with a Z. Or folk. I always like the word folk.
Starfleet crew.
The crew. There we go. I like that. Anyways, check out Text Trek. He just did an awesome review for Star Trek Prodigy as well. And we're going to probably continue doing Star Trek Prodigy until Discovery airs. And then what we're going to do is I'm thinking of separating out Star Trek Prodigy to Saturday mornings, like a Saturday morning cartoon, and keeping the Discovery discussions just all about Star Trek Discovery on Thursday. But stay tuned to find out more about that. As for these TOS discussions, next week might be postponed 1 week, but I kind of want to do that episode live with these guys. So I'm not, instead of doing it pre-recorded, we're going to just wait maybe a week to do it live. So hopefully you all will come and join us when we resume that. And we'll see about maybe putting something in its stead up, a little fun discussion. If you have any ideas for what we can do. Oh, I like the Starfleet family, Earl Grey Trekkie. We're the family.
How do you like my idea? Next week we can fill the time with I'll replicate the dance that Uhura does in Star Trek 5.
Oh, there you go.
And then
actually, maybe we'll do a watch along of Star Trek 5. I really love Star Trek 5. We'll see. We'll come up with something possibly for next week. But anyways, thank you, audience, as always, for just tuning in and listening to us. And we love you. I'm sorry that I'm slow with responding to your wonderful comments. Please keep leaving them. I promise I'll get to them. Or maybe Ruben will go on and respond for me. Maybe I don't know if I want that. Not sure I want that. Anyways. Live long and prosper, and we will see you next time.